Is this the dawn of an interest in good PR?
Good
Okay,
morning.
I hope you're ready for what. Start with finally consensus, stakeholder appeasement, leadership, especially in Enugu and Abia states.
So, funny enough, there's a dynamics that you will see in both states. So, you look at the governor of Abia State. This is somebody who has run business on his own. He's very successful. So you won't say he's coming into governance, he's coming to make money. Then you now bring it back to Enugu where you have Mba, who has also money. You won't worry. You can see that this is what this is what this person running and stuff, and it's tangible product and stuff like that. Now they come into governance and they are running different states governance, and what that is leading to about governance in changing in these two states. One is something that you have already raised, which is to say that the idea of stakeholder they put their vote to big time stakeholders is interested in spending Enugu state money on citizens, people driven kind of development and stuff like that. And that's exactly what is happening in Abia State. And once that shift happens, development opens up. Because over time, what has been happening is that those who you feel that they are the stakeholders are those who are cashing out. And they now share the crumbles with their people. And the tangible development around their life, around their children, anything, even the environment happening and stuff like that. That's what has changed. And it has changed because the governors and themselves decided to make that happen. It also has changed, not just by this governor deciding, has come to play his own. He may have had the decision to do what he's doing. But what I traveled to about 2 weeks ago. After Sunday service, I left somewhere around 2 o'clock and I hit the road to Aba. When I was born and brought up in Aba, and it made a lot of sense for us. Both. There are roads that I know that as a kid when I was in nursery school, those roads were spoilt. And those who were spoilt onto nursery school, those roads are now good. Let me give you a very typical example. There's a road called Oma Road in Aba. I got Aba from the Amo a part of that road, for those who know Aba, to somewhere around Chiaro has been completed.
That from Umuahia to
The Aba Port Harcourt Road now completed. This is road that has been there bad for close to 20 years now. Nobody has. So to do. They are beginning to handle it. It's the same one when you come to Enugu State. Enugu State may have been privileged during Sullivan regime to have some leverage to get some amount of goodwill, right? So we'll give him credit for that. But you see, this one is also dealing with the past in the sense that he's not just expanding and retiring those roads, but he's also expanding the states to get leverage across board and across different sectors and stuff like that. So you give credit to them in that context. But the other thing is also doing that is also industrializing the states by what they are doing primarily, secondary by the impact of what they are doing. And there are many instances to also look at that. But there's something I want to bring up even because I talk about industrialization. Because I have learned that over time, no matter how you expand the state, if you don't have the talent available in those states, you people will lose. So if you look at what Mumbai is doing, and I keep repeating that concept about the education in the smart schools, it's preparatory. He may, as a governor, he will not reap the benefit of that too. Because the children who are going to graduate going to start coming into workspace the next 3 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Because they will have to go to university. But some of them may bring in some of those skills. Because for me, the work age now is now 16 years. That's even the startup age now for the next generation that is coming and stuff like that. But in many ways, he may have finished his 8 years before the fullness of that thing comes in. That shows you that that's a governor that is thinking about the future. He's not thinking about his regime. He's thinking about the future of the state.
Yeah.
He's thinking about the people. He's thinking about their
that's
development.
One thing a lot of politicians don't think about. They're always thinking about what can happen between 4 years or 8 years.
You pay stakeholders to do everything to make sure that you're in power. You now forget the people who are supposed to cause in development for and stuff like that. So that leads to the next thing that is changing before I even go to industrialize. It's the legacy part. Can I wake up? See, when you look at P2B, you hear stories around somebody met someone and said, because you bought those boats, because you put that water in that school, because you gave me money when I was a student, because you changed our school, because you did this, you did this, you did this. So you see, testimonies. Human is not an age-old testimony. These are testimonies of changed lives. Because flood carried my business and you reinvested in my business. That is why I'm here. Human driven is not like, as in how I'm looking for the right word to do. It's not by the fact that people say you did well. It's by the fact that people can feel that he did where they have the tangibility of it and stuff like that. That's what you are now seeing these two governors doing. So if I am one that who owns stores now in Port Harcourt Road now in Aba, and he has done those roads, they have opened that. The guy who owns property in that road, the value has increased. The guy who owns stores in that road, the value has also increased for him, saying that people can now walk through that place and buy product. The people who live in that environment, environmental value has increased for them. They can breathe fresh air and greener air and all of those. The people who run transport business has increased. That's how it works. In the same thing in Enugu, the way the roads are being, see, if you walk into almost everywhere in New Heaven now, the roads are being retired, the ones that are existing, the ones that are bad are being worked on. I live in around New Heaven Suits. I was shocked one day when I saw that road was being constructed. I said, in my generation, in my lifetime, will I see this thing happen?
It's not just that. Virtually, in Transecuda, for instance, where I stay, the streets are being tarred. In MNA, I've seen some streets. In Abakba, some streets. So in New Heaven, you live on the other side. Down in New Heaven, somewhere around that first bank,
yeah,
the streets are being tarred.
Do you know what happened? One day I was driving and I drove into that, that assembly, that street, yeah. That when I do, the road was very tight, but I had an expectation of what that road looked like before. So when I drove in, I was my friend said, I just started, wow, what happened? They said, my friend said, no neighbor. Do you understand?
Peter happened.
Happened. That's the reality. That's what we want to see, right? And me, I'm not you. You have known me for years. You know, I'm not someone that will come and be singing praises for a governor. I'm not a politician, right?
But there's still people who feel he's one. He's not. I mean, I had an argument with someone 2 nights ago, and he said that the man is just inflicting pains on the people. I said you could talk about the tax, but you cannot take the fact that even if you're blind, you can feel that there's a whole lot of, unless you just choose not to see.
Okay, so there's a dynamic that is changing, and you know, culture change is one of the biggest, and that's one area I think that the government needs to do, right? Everybody can see the good work of the government, but I will expect the Enugu state government, right, to do more work around culture shift, helping people see what is driving the development they are seeing.
What they are doing.
Exactly, and stuff. Not just communicating, but communicating in a way to help people see that this thing we're doing, this is how we're getting that money. And marrying with her is also changing people's lives. In bad governance. So when good governance come, they don't understand what to do with it.
Need for acculturation.
Enugu state government, IGR was about 33 point something billion. So the last regime of Ugwuanyi was about 28.69 billion estimate. So Mbatuki in May, maybe started in June now. So half year into that 2023, I'm trying to put the governance in shape and stuff like that. He increased that from 28 point something billion to 33 point something billion.
That's
which was
2024.
in 2023. I'm not when you got to 2024. The miracle happened in 2024. I'm coming. So what that means is about the IGR increased drastically by over 10 billion. Meanwhile, within the government of Ugwuanyi, he was celebrating increasing IGR. I think at the point he got 19 billion. I was happy with it. I think at the point I always thought about it, right? And stuff like that. And he did some work around putting in place shapes for IGR generation and stuff like that, but he didn't do a very good job. Mba came in, restructured the entire. Guess how much he raised in 2024? It's called tax. So if you want good governance, you have to pay tax. That's how it works anywhere in the world.
But people are.
The development is too much
Compared to what people pay as tax in Abia.
State have 13% derivatives. Enugu does not have that.
Okay.
There are other ways Abia State can generate money, right? Enugu does not have that. Abia State has a lot of businesses existing. All they need to do is to expand opportunity for those businesses to scale. The market of income for Abia State is entire. People have to look at these dynamics. That's how it works.
But people feel that they are the ones bearing the brunt.
They are the ones enjoying the development. Do you understand? And stuff like that. The other day I see water board people trying to wear water in my street. But they want to
fears that he was even being sabotaged.
We know that. If you begin to, the people in elite politics that are not benefiting is already sabotaging the entire process and stuff. But plus the people who run the business itself is that let's not even go there, because if you go there, it's another war on its own, right? So, but for you to be able to be surmounting those problems and be running through PPP and all of those policies to still get it out, is a whole lot of problems. Relatively, we may not have water everywhere now. We can't say that there are no places that there are at least water not running in Enugu now. You can give that credit to him and all of those things. So we are paying taxes if we agree by us standard, but if you match with the level of development, that's what it is. We that is complaining, and I use the word we so that it doesn't look like I'm blaming on that, is we. When we travel to UK, 40 here, and is asking you to pay tax so that it will work, right? So that you can walk away with this. And if, by the way, I see the kind of policy work that they are doing now to be able to do single tax payment system and all of those things. That's very progressive, because part of the problem he didn't create was that there are multiple taxation. Yes, he leveraged on it, but you understand the people's challenges and fears and stuff, and you trying to do that single tax payment and all of those things. There's a policy going on. I don't even know if they have come to conclusion, but I know there's a lot of work. Yeah. I've seen pictures of strategy sessions and all of that going on. That's a government that is also listening. But what happens most times is that people don't see. It's important to do bipolar discussion because it helps to see feedback as to how people are thinking and feeling. Don't do that away. But those things doesn't drive governance. It's also important to come to the other part where policy and agenda is discussed, so you understand the other part of it. And that's why I feel what they are doing is, see, if you are living in a place where you have been in poverty, when wealth comes, you don't understand the implication. Yeah. You may be going around drinking with that wealth, but you don't know that that wealth is created. You see the difference here. So people don't understand that concept and all of those things. So that creation part is where the government probably need to play more role in driving that process and making it happen. So I'm not going to put the blame entirely on people. It's on the government to communicate from that perspective.
One part which I like you, which you rightly mentioned, a lot of people don't know the implications of what is happening. Now, if my money is going into it, the least I could do is understand what is going on. Okay. And that's what I want to. I want you to help people to about a principal of a school who I think should understand. He asked me, how does the